What if ancient temples weren't just places of worship, but machines designed to shape human consciousness? From the pyramids of Egypt to the Parthenon in Greece, to the stone mandalas of Asia, the world's most sacred sites share one hidden feature: geometry. Not random decoration, not mere architectural genius, but a coded language, aligning shape, number, and proportion to the invisible forces of the cosmos. Step inside these spaces, and you don't just walk through stone. You step into a vibrational field that tunes your soul. Into a vibrational field that speaks to your very soul. In this episode, we unlock the hidden geometry of ancient temples and reveal how these timeless codes still echo inside you today. The hidden geometry of ancient temples begin now. Part 1. The origins of sacred geometry. When you stand before an ancient temple, what do you see? Stone walls, towering columns, intricate carvings. But what if beneath the beauty lies something more? A hidden blueprint. A language of the universe itself. The roots of sacred geometry go back thousands of years. In ancient Egypt, temples were aligned to the stars, built according to ratios, believed to echo the cosmic order. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just an architectural marvel. Its dimensions encode the golden ratio, pi, and the precise alignments of the cardinal directions. This wasn't coincidence, it was intention. The builders believed that to shape stone correctly was to mirror the harmony of the heavens. To walk inside such a space was not just to enter a building, but to step into a vibrational field designed to awaken the soul. Across the Mediterranean, Greek philosophers like Pythagoras obsessed over numbers, shapes, and the secret laws, binding reality together. To them, geometry wasn't just mathematics, it was a mystical code. The triangle, the circle, the square. These were not abstract figures. They were not mere shapes. They were living archetypes, direct symbols of the divine forces that weave the cosmos. Pythagoras taught that everything vibrates, everything resonates, and that by understanding these numerical harmonies one could align with the deeper currents of existence. In the East, mandalas emerged as sacred diagrams, circular patterns, representing the unfolding of the universe. In Hindu and Buddhist traditions, temples were designed not just for worship, but as tools of meditation, guiding the seeker inward, through geometry and symmetry, toward spiritual awakening. But why geometry? Because shape holds power. The circle represents unity, eternity, the divine. The square grounds stabilizes, anchors spirit into matter. The spiral expresses growth, movement, the unfolding dance of life. These patterns are not arbitrary. They appear in nature, in flowers, shells, galaxies, and even in the human body. Sacred geometry is the recognition that the same design runs through all things, from the microcosm to the macrocosm. The ancients understood that when you design a space, according to these principles, you don't just create beauty, you create resonance. You turn stone into a transmitter, a bridge between the earthly and the celestial. You invite the human soul to remember its connection to the greater whole. In the next part, we'll explore how these geometric codes were woven directly into the architecture of temples, cathedrals, and monuments, and how standing inside these spaces can shift not just your mind, but your entire energetic field. Part 2. How temples encode cosmic principles. Step inside an ancient temple, and you'll notice something strange. It's not just the stone, not just the carvings, not just the scale. It's the feeling, the sense that you've entered a space where something invisible is humming, resonating, alive. Why does it feel this way? Because these spaces weren't just built, they were designed with intention, with knowledge, with cosmic precision. Let's begin in Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal directions, its dimensions encode. The golden ratio pi and the relationship between Earth and the heavens. Some believe its internal chambers resonate at specific frequencies designed to amplify spiritual experiences, even altered states of consciousness. The pyramid is not just a tomb, it's a transmitter, a cosmic machine built to align the earthly with the divine. Now shift to Greece. The Parthenon, perched atop the Acropolis, is a marvel of symmetry, proportion, and subtlety. Its columns curve ever so slightly, its lines adjust to correct the distortions of human vision. But more than that, its entire design embodies the golden ratio, a mathematical expression of universal harmony. The Parthenon isn't just beautiful, it's alive. It vibrates with an echo of cosmic balance, reminding all who stand before it of the perfection that underlies existence. Across the world, in Cambodia, Angkor Wat rises like a lotus from the jungle. Its towers mirror Mount Meru, the mythical axis of the universe. Its layout marks equinoxes, solstices, and key astronomical alignments. Every corridor, every gateway, every carving follows sacred ratios, weaving the rhythms of heaven into stone. This wasn't just architecture, it was cosmology, encoded into place. But here's the real secret. These weren't isolated marvels. Across cultures, from Egypt to Greece, from India to Mesoamerica, sacred architects shared a common knowing. They understood that geometry wasn't just practical, it was mystical. Circles, triangles, spirals, stars. These weren't decorations. They were keys to the invisible order, binding the universe, the patterns that shape life itself. By embedding these forms into stone, they weren't just building, they were awakening. Modern science now supports what the ancients sensed: cymatics, the study of how vibration shapes matter, shows that sound naturally creates geometric patterns, mandalas in sand, sacred forms in water. When you build a space aligned to these resonant principles, you create not just shelter, but a vibrational field, one that shapes energy, consciousness, and even healing. In the next part, we'll explore the esoteric functions of sacred architecture and uncover how ancient temples were not just monuments to the gods, but initiatory spaces meant to transform the human soul. Part 3. The esoteric functions of sacred architecture. Ancient temples were not just monuments, they were instruments designed to shape human experience, to tune the body, the mind, and the soul to a higher resonance. The ancients believed that when you stepped inside a sacred space, you weren't just entering a building, you were entering a field, a vibrational chamber, carefully crafted to open subtle pathways within you. Let's take the Great Pyramid. Some researchers argue Its internal chambers were designed to amplify specific sound frequencies, triggering altered states, and expanded awareness. The king's chamber, with its granite walls, produces powerful acoustic effects. Chanting, toning, or meditating inside it is said to awaken the body's energy centers, aligning the human system with the harmonic frequencies of the earth itself. This wasn't just burial architecture, it was initiation. Move to the cathedrals of medieval Europe. Step inside Chartres Cathedral, and you'll feel the shift instantly. The soaring arches, the rose windows, the labyrinth on the floor, all designed to lift the mind, open the heart, and guide the pilgrim on an inner journey. Walking the labyrinth wasn't just a physical act. It was a symbolic pilgrimage, a mirror of the soul's path toward union with the divine. Light filtering through stained glass wasn't just decoration. It was a transmission of color, geometry, and cosmic symbolism, meant to recalibrate consciousness. In Angkor Wat, the long causeways, the rising towers, and the precise carvings weren't only visual splendor. They guided the visitor through stages of myth, cosmology, and personal awakening. Each chamber, each gate, each step was part of a ritual sequence inviting the pilgrim to move deeper into alignment with the sacred order of the cosmos. Why did they design spaces this way? Because they understood that consciousness is not fixed, it's fluid. And by shaping the environment through proportion, light, sound, and symbol dash, you shape the inner experience. Sacred architecture was a kind of technology, a technology of the spirit. Modern researchers studying sacred spaces have found measurable effects, changes in brainwave states, shifts in heart coherence, and even enhanced feelings of peace, awe, and connection. It seems the ancients knew what we're only beginning to rediscover: that place matters, shape matters, intention matters, and when all are aligned, the result is transformation. In the next part, we'll explore why this knowledge was hidden, suppressed, and nearly lost, and how reclaiming it today could unlock a new path of spiritual awakening. Because these temples were never just about the past, they are blueprints for you here, now. Part 4. The suppression of sacred design. For thousands of years, sacred geometry shaped temples, cathedrals, and monuments, embedding cosmic codes into the very bones of civilization. But then something shifted. This knowledge, once honored and practiced openly, began to disappear. Why? Because sacred architecture was more than just design. It was power. Power to align the human with the divine. Power to awaken consciousness. And power is always a threat to those who seek control. When empires rose, they saw the wisdom of the ancients as both a treasure and a danger. The Catholic Church, which once embraced sacred geometry, in its soaring cathedrals eventually shifted focus from mystical experience to rigid doctrine. Mystics and builders, who knew the old ways, found their knowledge either co-opted or condemned. Books were banned, teachings were silenced, symbols were stripped of meaning or dismissed as superstition. Why? Because architecture that awakens creates people who question, and people who question cannot be easily controlled. The political powers, too, played their part. As nations industrialized, the rush for efficiency, profit, and standardization pushed aside the sacred. Temples gave way to factories, cathedrals gave way to skyscrapers. The subtle art of resonance, once woven into every brick, was replaced by cold, functional design. But while much was lost, the flame never fully went out. Secret societies, the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Hermeticists, claimed to guard fragments of this ancient wisdom. Their lodges echoed the sacred blueprints, checkerboard floors, starry ceilings, geometric symbols, hidden in plain sight. Even in silence, the codes survived. In recent decades, a new awakening has begun. Architects, artists, and seekers are once again turning to sacred geometry, rediscovering the power of space to heal, uplift, and transform. Modern studies confirm what the ancients sensed, that spaces designed with intention, proportion, and resonance can change human well-being, boost creativity, and foster deep states of peace. But here's the truth. The greatest loss was never the temples themselves. It was the inner temple, the understanding that you are both architect and initiate, that your life too is a sacred design. In the next part, we'll explore how to reclaim this wisdom today, how to awaken the inner temple, align your own space and self with the deeper patterns of the universe, because the codes are still here, waiting, and it's time to bring them back to life. Part 5. Awakening the Inner Temple. We've journeyed through the ancient temples, Giza, Chartres, Angkor Wat, each a masterpiece of sacred geometry designed to awaken and transform. But here's the truth. The most powerful temple is not built of stone, it's built of you, your body, your mind, your spirit. You are the living temple, the microcosm of the universe, crafted by the same principles that shaped the pyramids and cathedrals. Think about it. Your DNA spirals like a sacred helix. Your heartbeat follows rhythmic cycles. Your breath moves in waves, matching the tides of the earth. The golden ratio appears in the proportions of your face, your limbs, even your heartbeat variability. The ancients weren't just building temples, they were mirroring you. But in the noise of the modern world, we've forgotten. We rush, distract, disconnect, forgetting that alignment isn't just about architecture, but about the architecture of our own lives. So how do we begin to awaken the inner temple? First, by becoming aware. Pay attention to your space, the shapes, the light, the energy. Is your environment chaotic or calming? Does it reflect harmony or fragmentation? Small shifts, bringing symmetry, natural elements, sacred symbols, can recalibrate your external space, which in turn shapes your inner state. Next, work with your body as temple. Movement becomes ritual when done with intention. Breath becomes sacred when observed with presence. Sound becomes a sacred instrument, tuning not just your frequency, but your very state of being. Chant, walk labyrinths, meditate with mandalas. Every act, when aligned with awareness, becomes a doorway back to center. And most importantly, realign your thoughts and intentions. Sacred geometry teaches that coherence matters, not just in form, but in mind. When your intentions are clear, your actions purposeful, your heart open, you become a living conduit of higher resonance. You don't just visit sacred space, you become it. Across ages, the deepest message of sacred architecture was never about stone. It was about initiation, guiding you to remember that the temple, the altar, the sanctuary was always within. So now the invitation is yours. Will you step into your own sacred design? Will you align your space, your body, and your mind with the deeper harmonies of the universe? Because the ancient codes are not locked away in distant ruins. They are alive, waiting for you to activate them, to embody them, to become the temple you were always meant to be. Final CTA. You've now stepped inside the hidden world of sacred geometry, the cosmic codes woven into temples, cathedrals, and yourself. But what if this geometry doesn't just shape buildings, but shapes you from the inside out? In the next episode, we zoom in from ancient temples to the divine architecture of the human body, how the golden ratio appears in the human body. We'll reveal how your face, your heartbeat, your bones follow the same sacred proportions that have guided master builders for millennia. This isn't coincidence. It's a reminder that you are a living temple crafted by universal principles designed for awakening. Get ready to uncover the hidden symmetry that connects your body to the cosmos and discover why the blueprint of the universe is encoded within you.